it's Jennifer here from Belladonna's Botanicals. Sorry you haven't seen me around as much this month. Literally right after I finished the BB updates for June 2025, I got very sick with the terrible stomach virus. I was actually in the ER for an entire day, and it was bad. So, um, I recorded a bunch of videos right before I got sick. And unfortunately, StreamYard crapped the bed on the quality of them. So I'm not going to re-record them, but I'm doing some intros, and I'm going to do a video kind of over it because like it's just embarrassing like how bad the quality was, and I recorded like hours of content. So without further ado, this is the introduction to the video which I've talked about before, and this is why isn't your magic working? So you won't see me talking and whatnot, but I'm just gonna do like an overlay over what I'm talking about in the video. So, anyways, without further ado, enjoy. Hey, it's Jennifer here from Belladonna's Botanicals, and today we are talking about one of my favorite topics, and one that I get a lot of questions and things from viewers, from customers, clients, friends, that whole thing. And this is part 2 of this, and I will link the original below. And this topic today is, why isn't your magic working? External influences, magical timing, and accepting it is what it is sometimes, and often we get in our own ways. So I'm getting better in my managing my ADHD. If you watch this channel, you know that I am of the neurospicy persuasions. So I've started making outlines to keep myself on point, because we know I can kind of ramble and go on. And before I go and do that, let's get to the topic on hand. So why isn't your magic working? We all face this. Every single person has experienced something that just either spectacularly failed, it didn't work at all. Maybe I'll put in my top 10 fails video in here as well, because I do talk about this a little bit in there as well. Why isn't your magic working? Why is this one spell stuck? Why isn't this one thing going through? It can be anything. And there's a lot of influences that we have to take into account. It's not just, bam, I lit a candle, threw some oil on it, and got exactly what I wanted. Sometimes that happens, don't get me wrong. I've had it happen before. And other times I've had things that I did 5 years ago, thought did absolutely nothing. And then I kind of realized, I'm like, oh, this is working. It's just not working how I thought it was working, how I planned on it working, and what my initial intention was of that work. And as I often say, magic takes the path of least resistance sometimes, and it's going to kind of find its way. But also sometimes it might take time, and those results may not be what you expected. 3 years later, you might be, oh, shit. Okay, I get it now. I see. This did work, just in an entirely different way than I thought it was going to. And that's okay. It's awesome. It happens. So don't just think that because I lit a candle, didn't get immediate results. I lit another candle, didn't get results. I lit another candle, I didn't get results. That isn't being put out there. So let's get into it. Oh, the humanity of it all. So own it. Sometimes shit don't work. It ain't that deep. Sometimes, for whatever reason, your magic doesn't work. And there's so many different factors that can go into why it doesn't work, or that you in the way that you thought. And I'm just going to say this now, the mundane is just as powerful and influential as magic. They go hand in hand. Sometimes shit goes sideways because, oh crap, I was going to do this and we had a storm and I've been without power for 2 days. Or, hi, I'll give you a personal experience from last month. Oh, oops, I stabbed myself in the foot by accident. So, that put a hamper into some things. Did I want to stab myself in the foot? Did I What was I? Oh no, I'm being cursed. No, I just left the kitchen scissors on top of a towel and moved it, and it went straight into my foot. Anyways, shit happens. But those are mundane things that we can't always foresee, and sometimes being able to move through them. Um, and this is a key one. You probably don't know everything about the situation, even when you think you do. And that could just be external influences. Let's just take the get your ex spell back, because that's a big one. Hi, been there. Like I said, I don't give advice that I am when I'm like talking about these things, I'm talking about experience, and I will say, hey, I am guilty of this shit too. It happens to me as well. So you can't always know every single thing about a person, about a situation. You might think you do, but you really don't, because everyone has different protections. You might think you know that person and they may not be a magical practitioner, but they might have some powerful ancestors behind them, or they might be protected by their if they have witchy friends, they might be under their protection as well. So those are things to consider, that sometimes you don't know everything about the situation. And there may be things that you're just not seeing, and are just always are not that information is not available to you. So it's hard to work around something if you don't know what that block is, or what that thing is you're not seeing. Because sometimes we see things, but then there's just like blind spots. Let's just call it like a little blind spot. Like, I see everything, but except this right here. What's behind this? I don't know. And do I even know this is here? I might not even perceive it. So, again, the mundane can be just as powerful. And, I can wish for a really awesome sales month. Like, I want to have $100,000 sales month. Well, I can't handle $100,000 sales month. I'm disabled. I have limitations on things I can do. And, that's sometimes been hard for me. I've been processing a lot on that, around that topic on my own, is part of my healing, because it's hard. It's really hard. I was a very active person. I could walk 5 miles at a clip. I did all sorts of stuff. And now I'm like, I walked a couple blocks and now I've been in pain all week. So, and this is a big one. Next on the list, stop trying to find magical reasons for everything. Sometimes you just stubbed your toe because navigational errors, and that's it. You're not being cursed. Your spirits are not unhappy. Your wards and protections aren't failing. Shit happens. I did not want to stab myself in the foot. It happened anyways. Do I think I'm being cursed? Whatever. I got some stitches. It's fine. It's long healed. It was like a month ago already. But still, my first instinct was, oh my God, I'm being cursed. I'm being cursed. I have my protections and wards and stuff like that. And, I refresh them from time to time. And I have people doing work for me on that. So it's easy to get stuck in, this isn't working. It's never going to work. And I don't know what to do to make it work. Well, yeah, you kind of just made it not work there. We are often our own worst enemies for things. I'm like this too. And this is why I'm bringing this message. Because there's so many witchy channels out there, and there's so many creators. And, let's talk about your spells and rituals, and here's this book, and look at my witchy haul, and that part of magic. But what doesn't get discussed as much is this little, the nuts and bolts of it, the practical magic of magic. Some of these things you have to think about in order to really push through and start making your magic work when you're stuck, or to get out of those mindsets, because a lot of times the mindset is what's holding you back more than anything else. And now, on the subject of getting stuck in that mindset of, oh my God, this is never going to work, it's sort of like the watch pot never boils, but we need to pivot and shift from time to time in our magical and mundane lives. But there is a danger in shifting and pivoting too much that you're constantly reinventing the wheel. So stick it out, even when it's full of suck. And because sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes, you might be ready to just burn it all down today, but you can't see that tomorrow things are better or something happened. Whatever you're trying to work for does come into fruition, on this subject, we get stuck in the, if I burn this candle or I use this oil, it's a surefire win. And if it doesn't work immediately, it's probably not the fault. It's probably the fault of the candle. It's probably the oil, the incense, the energy was wrong. The person didn't know what they were doing, or, let's find every excuse out there. Sometimes shit just doesn't work, or you're just being impatient as fuck because, hi, I'm impatient as fuck. This is what I'm talking about, and this is more from like a creator perspective. It's not the candle. I can't tell you how many candles I've bought and burned in my life, or at least in the past 5 years, that I didn't see immediate results from, and was like, oh, this candle sucked, or this person doesn't know what they're doing, and blah blah blah. No. It is what it is sometimes, and honestly, not for nothing, this is why I don't give guarantees on anything. I'm like, it can do this, it's used for that. I'm not going to tell you this will give you this result in this amount of time. Anyone doing that is probably full of shit. So, and this is why I don't offer refunds on our products, because early on when I did, I was getting people ordering something, me shipping it, it arriving, a day later, them returning it because it didn't work, or some insert excuse. I'm like, oh, I see what you did. You used enough oil from the bottle for your ritual, claimed it didn't work, and then sent it back and got a refund. So that's why I don't do refunds on those things. It is what it is, folks. And we get in our own way a lot. I get in my own way. I do. I still do. It happens. You learn to navigate it over time. But this isn't like a moral failing. This isn't you're not, as powerful of a witch, or you're not this, that, or the other thing. You're still human, and there's a lot going on energetically. There's a lot going on in every possible way. You've got planetary influences, lunar, you've got world event influences, you've got all these things that happen, and it can impact that. It's not, don't blame yourself. Don't blame the magic. Don't blame the candle. Shit happens. Sometimes you burn a candle and it does nothing. Or does it? Because you might find 5 years later that thing you were burning that candle. I'm like, oh, I see that now. Okay. Interesting. So next up, after the humanity, it ain't that deep. We often make magic way more difficult than it actually needs to be. I'm experimenting with this right now on a personal level, because the more when you get, I've been doing this stuff so long, and I've been working with the spirits for so long, not gonna lie, my magic is pretty fucking boring. It's you get to the point where you're doing this. It's not like the big theatrics and the booming voice and the smoke cloud of dragons and all of this stuff that you're invoking and evoking, and you've got spirits flying all over the place and whatnot. Sometimes magic, it can be just as simple as, I do a lot of mental magic, because a lot of magic is mental. It's your energy. It's your internal universe. And I'm on the keep it simple, stupid side of things. Sure, great. Okay, you just lit 100 candles for that ritual. All right. If you want your magic to be flashy and Hollywood-like, your aesthetics are your own. I'm not here to poo-poo that. I you've seen my altars and my spaces, you know what it looks like here. But as far as rituals go, like I've worked with Lucifer and Lilith for so long. They're my matron and patron. I don't have to do big complicated, evocation and invocations and stuff like that to work with them. It's just kind of like, hey, you there? Okay, cool. And it's working with spirits is a whole other aspect of this. I might get into it a little bit here and there, but we're just on the it ain't that deep side because we do complicate things a lot. And it was like how much we get in our own way sometimes is something. Because it seems like a lot of this logic doesn't get translated, and all the big fancy grimoires and all of the witchy books that are flying out every second of the day. There's a lot of practical considerations that go into magic, not just throw on some robes, make a stone circle, ooga booga, and there it's done. And when it comes to, the supplies and the things that we have, I always get people like, well, what color candle should I use this with? I'm like, honestly, I use whatever color candle I have. I'm confined at the time that I need to do this. If I don't have a purple candle, I don't have a purple candle. I'll use something else. We get very stuck to how things are in grimoires and books and how this tradition does it and how that tradition does it. Oh, it's ceremonial magic, so it has to be unnecessarily complicated all the time. And, this ritual has to be 3 days long. And I don't know what to tell people. I can get the same results doing whatever the thing is in a multitude of things. I could do it entirely in the astral realm. I could do it entirely in ascension mode, working with the demonic divine. I can do a big fancy days long ceremonial. Well, I don't know if I would do that because it's hard on my body. Big thing, or I can light a candle, go, screaming at candles is cathartic. Highly recommended. It's like screaming into the void, but with ambiance. So again, is your magic more or less going to work if you bought a dollar store candle or you bought a $40 bougie candle? I've gotten the same results from both. Sometimes I like the aesthetic candle. Luckily, I make candles now. So, but I have a lot of things going. Like I have some back there. Like I go through a ton of those like 7-day candles. So yeah, I buy the dollar store ones there because it's for $1.25. I can, I have the entire candle. Versus how, okay, so let's see. Let's break it down. Let's see how much wax would that use if I put any color and fragrance in it. So probably one of those, a 12 ounce, or not 12 ounce, like a 7-day candle like this. My little Robert Smith candle I have on my desk. A hair clip apparently. So, your ancestors aren't going to be like, oh, you only lit a dollar store candle for us? Well, we're not going to listen to you, peon. Or, oh, damn, this girl spent like $50 on this candle. Hold up. We got to drop everything and help her. This is our humanity. This is our human ego that's playing into this. I've done just as much of effective magic. I've done shit while I've been driving my car. I'm not exactly going, reciting, incantations or what, but magic can be done in so many different ways. And the more adept you get at it, doesn't mean the more complex your magic becomes. It actually becomes more simple. I have to find it, but it's like that meme from the Olympics last year with the I think it was the shooters and the Turkish one who's just like, yeah, fuck you. And then you have all these other ones with like the posture and headgear and lenses and all this crazy shit where it's like, and then there's a spiritual meme about it where it's like, okay, the starter pip, daily affirmations, every ritual needs 12 things. And then the other guy who's just there like, spite, weed, and whatever, and coffee. That's how it ends up becoming. The more adept you become, the simpler your magic can become. Like, yeah, I'll do more structured rituals as a show of my devotion, as there's different demonolatry holidays that kind of correspond with the Sabbats. So there's like the rites of Lucifer and Belial and Belphegor and etc. So there's some things I do like that are different. Like I do a yearly rededication to Lucifer and Lilith because I've done that every year. It's just a show of my devotion. So showing your devotion can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. Like I just got had to go to the grocery store, got a little bundle of tie-dyed roses for my altar. That's my like devotional offering there. We just because someone says, oh, you have to give this spirit this thing or that thing, doesn't mean that you can develop your own relationships with them. And like, okay, I'll put it this way and make sort of a comparison here. So take a line of everyone you've dated, like say, just pick 5 exes. And now you meet someone new. Are you going to interact with that new person based on how you interacted with those exes? Are you going to assume that they all like the same things? Like, do they all like the same TV shows and the same music and the same thing? Probably there's going to be some variances in theory. So the same thing kind of goes for spirits there where, okay, well, maybe, I associate roses with Lucifer. Maybe not everyone does. Like that to me is based on my personal relationship with Lucifer. You might associate jasmine with Lucifer, and that's also okay. There's kind of no right or wrong things here. I've not had a spirit really get mad at me about something I offered. I mean, at most, Belial will just make fun of different music if he doesn't like it, but that's about it. It's no like, oh, I wanted sandalwood, curse you. This is how we get in our own way. And we don't even realize it half the time. So, and, on the, the color, again, this goes into the color correspondences for candles and stuff. I mean, like when you sit and like think about it in this perspective, Spirit's like, well, I was going to answer your petition, but you used a green candle instead of a purple one. So eat a bag of dicks, human. I mean, come on. Like really, that's, in a weird, hyper literal sense, what you're kind of saying without saying it when you're so stuck to, oh my God, I'm doing something with Lucifer. I need a particular color candle for this and I don't have it. And now my magic's not going to work. You see how it kind of spirals? I'm here to help make your magic easier for you and less stressful. And because I see people like melting down and burning themselves out over these things all the time. And I hope you stick with me for the rest of this video because I feel this is really helpful information to have. And I don't see a lot of other people out there giving really, really nitty gritty practical, like, have you thought about this? Considerations for doing magic. So now on to the energetic external influences, because have you ever existed through a Mercury retrograde? Shit goes backwards, sideways, and in every direction other than the one you want. So there are going to be external influences that are beyond your, my, or anyone's control. We're talking about planetary influences, lunar energy, shifts, world events, ethos, chaos, etc. We're in a very chaotic time in human history. Across the boards, shit's fucked up. So that is going to influence things because now think about this. If you're someone who does any type of political or social political kind of magic, you have just as many people on the other side doing, either protecting those people or doing the exact opposite. So there's a lot of things you're just going to do this or they go boom and cancel each other out. It happens. But, really thinking about it, like going to the base level is that everything has energy to it. It can impact things without awareness to it. I'm sensitive to energy, so sometimes I do sense those subtle shifts. Like May was crazy. I don't know what the fuck was going on in May, but every single person I know had like a completely chaotic, crazy month. Like if it was Mercury retrograde, I would have been like, yeah, that tracks. It wasn't though. I have no idea. But everyone was going through a whole shit show of things. So there's not much like when you have these energetic shifts, and they can be things you don't even know what's going on. I can feel the rumblings of things, just looking at what's going on, and kind of everything's kind of teetering on an edge now. And depending where that goes, things can change hella fast, and I don't know what direction they're going in. So, those are things you have to take in. So when you have those subtle shifts, there isn't much you can do about it sometimes of writing it out. Like Mercury retrograde, I get hit really hard by Mercury retrograde because, hi, I'm a Gemini with my Mercury in Gemini. So I get double fucked or quadruple fucked, extra fucked. Yes, Mercury retrograde sucks. Not gonna lie. And this is the thing when we're looking at these, now putting all of this together so far. So now we're on to the energetic external influences. Your magic probably is working. You're just being an impatient human. We are used to instant gratification. The human ego be like that. A watched pot never boils just as much as an obsessed over spell never manifests. Set it and forget it exists for a reason. Like I said, a lot we get in our own ways. And that everything has its own energy. It's not necessarily good or bad or right or wrong. It's just energy. Mostly it's just different. Sometimes we get stuck on the blame the candle for the magic not working, and without taking into account how much energy there is in everything and how it can change. If I spend all day hanging out with energy vampires who unknowingly or knowingly drain me, and then I go home and try to do a ritual, I probably don't have enough energy to actually do the ritual. Or to, I might be able to sit there and go blah, 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 words, light a candle, do a thing, but my magical energy is probably like, check battery light is on, and, check engine lights on, and, you just power down and all of that. So, we can also get used to magical energy, so we sense it less. I have this feeling like I can't sense spirits or that I'm blocked, but really it comes down to, mind over matter, and that we get used to feeling, seeing, sensing magical changes and energies, especially if you're working with different spirits. So it's like becoming nose blind to an aroma. It's there. You can smell it. You're just so used to it that you don't notice it or smell it. And I can 100% attest to that because I make smelly things, and I don't notice it anymore. Like when people come to my house, like, oh my God, it smells amazing in here. I'm like, really? It does? Mm-hmm. I don't smell it unless I leave my house for a chunk of time, like the whole day. I might notice my house smells like a witchy shop when I come home. Most of the time I don't. So it's there. It's not that it doesn't smell. I'm just not noticing it. So what is my overall advice here? So magical timing is not guaranteed. If people are guaranteeing it, no. That to me, like when people are guaranteeing magical results, that just screams a big flashing sign called bullshit. Because you can't guarantee anything. There are things, like I said, there are things I did years ago that are just manifesting now, because when I look back at those rituals and the way I worded them, I had in clear intention in mind of what I wanted or what I thought I was asking for in this. And, I did not expect the results I got. They're great. They're great. Don't get me wrong. It's just the results that I ended up there. Holy crap. I may put this in my working with Sorath part 2, but the reason I haven't made any videos for a while is I just pushed through healing the last really major fucking huge parts of my PTSD and trauma. Like that was a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot. And I'm still processing it. And because I have a lot of like PTSD and trauma related memory loss from different parts of my life. And right now I'm integrating everything. Like it's you become fragmented when you go through a lot of PTSD, when you have PTSD and trauma. It's like your mind, body, and spirit kind of become disconnected in ways. So like right now I'm working to reconnect all those things. And really it feels like my mind and my spirit are up here connected doing things, but like my body, it's not entirely integrated yet. So so the thing about what I was saying with this is it's been manifesting all along. You just might not have noticed it because it wasn't exactly what you asked for at the time. And it might not be the planned results. You are getting what you asked for, but it might not be the get your ex back spell. It might be finding your true soulmate, because probably that ex was not it. And I just want to stress all of this is normal. Sometimes magic doesn't work. It's okay. Embrace it is what it is. And I repeat, all of this is normal. So thank you for watching. I will put the video references below to the first video on why isn't your magic working, thoughts on patience and trusting the process. And I'm going to put in my top 10 fails video as well. So just because they all kind of go together and tell a story. So anyways, but yeah, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Be sure to follow us on social media. Sign up for e-newsletter so you always know what's going on, because as we know, algorithms suck. So thank you. And I love you all. Bye.